value the preciousness of life. The baby before me died and the baby after me died, and my mother clutched to me as only a mother can who has lost a child. And an appreciation for the value of life and a refusal to allow anybody to take away the great privilege of being alive. I will think for myself. I will move in my own direction. You can say whatever you want to say about it, but I'm gonna be me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the core of everything, SOAR is saying, don't be limited. Don't put a period because you did one thing that you can't do something else, that you can't be something else, that you can't evolve as an individual, that you can't explore other idioms of thought. Let me shut up because I get to talk and I'll talk.
No, it's great. I want to dig deeper into that because the arc of your teaching and one of the most influential messages that I've received from you is get out of your comfort zone. I mean, if you open your mouth, some version of that's gonna come out. Maybe from the Old Testament or maybe from a chicken's egg. You know, there's some way that you're gonna tell me get out of your comfort zone. I wondered though, because I've also heard you teach so much about your capacity, that each person has a God-given capacity. For the person who is trying to decide, who am I, what can I do? I don't know yet, I haven't tried yet. I think I know what I have. I don't know if I have it or not. How do we know the difference between staying in our comfort zone versus going beyond our capacity?
You're only measured in terms of success by his investment in terms of contribution. If he gave one man 1 talent, another man 2 talents, and another man 5 talents, he didn't expect the man with 1 talent to produce 10, but at least give me 2. The man who had 2 talents came back with 4. The man with 5 talents came back with 10. The man with 2 talents came back with 4. The man with 5 came back with 10. Those are the same things. That's 100-fold. The man with 1 came back with nothing. Now, the Apostle Paul says that when we compare ourselves with one another, and so doing it is not wise, because we don't have the same starting place. So if I'm gonna make success predicated on what my neighbor had, that is only fair if I started with what my neighbor started with.
Let me ask this. What if I'm not clear about what I started with? Because I've heard you do this thing before too. Okay, the advantage I have interviewing you is I have a library of things that you've said. I don't think there's been a sermon.
I don't remember, by the way.
Yeah, so I have
I'm scared to death
the upper hand. But you do this thing, all right, I saw him do this thing at a preacher's conference once. And he said, I won't imitate your voice.
Go ahead.
He has this really intense mode. There's a wide open Bishop Jakes, and then there's a very intense, it's many gears, but it's equal intensity, and it's terrifying. But it was a pretty big moment, and you say, "There's nothing that I have that you don't have. I have 1 mouth. You have 1 mouth. I have 2 ears. You have 2 ears." And you know how descriptive he is. He went all the way to the toenails. And I'm just being honest, Bishop, respectfully, I was thinking, that's not true. You have this mind and this ability and this voice, even as a preacher who admires you so much. There's a part of me that goes, I know the point is that God has given each of us a calling, but I think a lot of us, when we hear about the parable of the talents, we don't know, well, do I have 1? Do I have 2? Do I have 5? I don't want to get out there and do something stupid that I wasn't meant to do, but I don't want to stop short.
You're really hitting on something. First thing, I am in touch with myself in a way that a lot of people are not. I know me. I've dated me.
Cool.
Yeah. It's funny, but it's true. I've dated me. I know me. You know, when you date somebody, you explore them to see who they are. Most people are so busy dating other people they've never dated themselves. You understand? When God says to Adam, the very first command God says to Adam is to be fruitful. You can only be fruitful if you are seedful. Okay, so we're talking about the difference between fruit and seed. Identifying your seed is what causes you to be fruitful. The first revelation of seed should happen in your family. You should have parents who are looking at their kids looking for seeds. I'm gonna give you my grandbaby story. You asked for it, you're gonna get it. You're just gonna get it. So we're in my church and it's dark and my grandbaby's in there and a bunch of friends are in there and we're taking pictures and I can't find the light. And the lights are complicated and I can't figure out how to turn all this stuff on. And so we're trying to get some pictures. And so my grandbaby ran and she says, wait a minute, Paul, I'm gonna get a flashlight. She went up under the pew where we have hidden flashlights, snatched down a flashlight and brought it over and said, now take the picture. And so I said to her, I said, baby, Kenzie, don't you wanna be in the picture? She said, no, I don't wanna be in the picture. I wanna hold the light. That's the seed right there. That's the seed right there. So we came back to the house and I was getting ready to take a picture and I'm trying to keep up with you millennials, it's so hard. And I was trying to take a selfie and I got a timer, where you can back up and if you follow me on Instagram, you know this is true. And so I couldn't get my phone to sit up. And she went and got some books and propped it up. And I told my daughter, I said, put her in leadership classes, put her in management classes. She's a problem solver. That starts early. Her instinct in a situation is to solve the problem. She says, I don't want to be in the picture, I want to hold the light. Those are seeds.
Okay.
Directing that child toward an area where you can cultivate what God has planted down inside of them is important. It's very, very important. Mm-hmm. There are people in this room that have dormant seeds laying inside of them, that if they get in the right atmosphere, they're going to turn into things you have never seen before. They didn't always have the benefit of parents who could see it or had time to see it or knew how to see it. But even as adults, there are still seeds down in you that have not been touched yet. That's what happened to Elisha. He was fulfilling his parents' vision, plowing in the field.